An important announcement, a corporate announcement today by Interglobe Enterprise. So Interglobe and CP Gurnani of Asago have announced a joint venture to launch a company called Ionos, which is pioneering AI-driven innovation. Now, what exactly is Ionos? What will it do? To speak on this, I'm speaking now with Rahul Bhatia. He is Group Managing Director of Interglobe, and CP Gurnani, Chairman of Asago Group. Welcome, gentlemen. Thank you so much for speaking with us here on the NDTV network. Let me begin by asking you, Mr. Bhatia, what Ionos is about. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. What is this company and what will it do?
Well, I think you're pronouncing it pretty correctly. It's a little bit of a tongue twister, but Ionos is the word, and it's inspired from the Greek word called everlasting. I'd rather have CP walk you through the objectives of the company, and then I can chip in at a later moment in time. CP?
So, again, to be brief, having been part of the IT industry and innovation industry, there was always a requirement that some of the sectors IT could do a lot more. Technology at the right time has become the catalyst. Now with the advent of quantum computing, advent of AI, advent of the GPUs, our assessment is that many of the processes, particularly in the segment which is called TTLH, but it is really travel, transportation, logistics, and hospitality, there is a need for intervention by technology. So Ionos is creating an IntelliOS or an operating system to make enterprises in TTLH more intelligent, more data-driven, more customer-driven, and create an experience for not only our direct customers, but customer's customer. So we are excited because AI is becoming a lot more easy to use with conversational AI becoming mature, with prompt engineering becoming mature, Gen AI being able to differentiate, and if you use it right, it can also be made responsible. So we are excited. There is a lot to be done, but there is clearly a gap in the industry, and we are targeting TTLH. Main reason is could be served better. Number two, the domain expertise is coming from Interglobe Enterprises because they happen to have a footprint in this industry. They are reasonably well invested in logistics, well invested in hospitality, well invested in urban mobility, cargo management, logistics, and obviously better known for the largest airline of India.
Yeah. So, that's actually my question. Is this an interface we will see used by Indigo? Is Indigo going to be a prominent or a first big client for Ionos? Either of you can answer that.
I think, let me go first, and it's a Singapore headquartered company, very clear focus on a global footprint. And the reason it is Singapore headquartered is because a lot of growth is coming in Asia, both in travel, transportation, or hospitality. And we want to, not only create AI centers of excellence or data centers of excellence, but we also want to tap into the growing needs of the consumers in this area. It is coincidental that the first 2 or 3 prospects with whom we are doing proofs of concept, they are outside India, and 2 of them in Europe, 1 of them in US. So I can only say yes, there is a desire to do business with Interglobe, but the focus of the venture is to create a global company.
Okay, so Mr. Bhatia, this is not something.
Rahul, you want to add anything?
Yeah, this is not something that we will see on Interglobe Aviation or Indigo straight away.
Yeah, Tamanna, just to be clear, I presume you're not expecting that this company's been launched predicated on the fact that it'll have business from some of Interglobe's companies.
Sure.
This said, some of the businesses we are involved in are faced with certain issues, technological issues, and the same issues are faced with companies globally. Clearly, CP's organization is going to develop solutions, products, co-create products that makes the industry at large more efficient. And within that sort of sphere of development, if there are products or applications that that companies like Indigo find appealing, then of course there would be opportunity for Indigo and the NewCo to work together. But that is, like I said, it's the whole company is not predicated on businesses being brought in by Interglobe.
So strategically for Interglobe Group, Mr. Bhatia, and this question's for you. Can you give us the rationale of venturing into this space, into the AI SaaS space with Mr. Gurnani? What was the strategic thought behind it?
Tamanna, so one thing that I think Interglobe has is pretty uniquely positioned because it straddles travel, transportation, travel commerce, hospitality, logistics, cargo, and I think given what we do, I think there's an opportunity to create a thread of needs that provide ability for these different industries to talk to each other. And we've been wanting to get into this space, and CP was coming off his current obligations or his past obligations at the end of December. I was having a conversation with him for most of last year, and collectively believe that there's an opportunity to go out and do something. And this also would include, for example, airports. We engage with airports all the time, and it's just that one set of service providers at the airport don't talk to another set of service providers at the airport. And there are several opportunities like this where I think, given our domain sort of experience and understanding, we think we are uniquely positioned to bring some products and services to the marketplace.
Okay, so last question, because I know...
I'll give you an example.
Yes, please.
A lot of low-cost... Sorry, go ahead.
No, please continue.
No, I was saying, as an example, a lot of low-cost carriers in the world are powered by a company called Navitaire. Now, Navitaire was built many, many years ago. It's a legacy product. It's currently owned by Amadeus. Low-cost carriers have evolved over time. At one time, they started off being point-to-point airlines, and now they do a lot of interlining and do a lot of other things that Navitaire is not necessarily set up to provide. So their parent, they have a proposition in front of them. They know they need to evolve the product. They themselves are legacy based, so either they can go and embark on that journey, which could be somewhat slow to evolve the product, or else they can partner with companies like the NewCo we have, Ionos, bring agility, start on a clean sheet of paper, and work to develop a new product. Now, in that framework, can companies like Interglobe bring some institutional knowledge of where the bottlenecks are? Yes, we can, and consequently, we think we are set up for putting something pretty unique in the marketplace.
Okay, I know you guys are in a hurry, so just one last very quick question. Like Mr. Gurnani said, this is going to change the experience in the space. I wanted to a brief for example. From a customer point of view and the customer's customer point of view, give me an example of what this kind of innovation would change. I'm leaving that to open to whoever wants to field it. Yes.
Okay, so Rahul Bhatia spoke to you about airports and airline sector being integrated. Last year I had a chance to visit the previous year the FIFA World Cup in Qatar. From the time the gate opened on the aircraft to the time I got into the car, it took me exactly 14 minutes. Why? Because it was computer visioning and the data all integrated. My hotel information was available to immigration, my airline information was available to immigration, and hence I got a green light as soon as they saw my picture. Now, to me, that versus some of the European airports where the wait could be 20 minutes to 1 hour, it's clearly an area where we need to improve. Now, can this 14 become 12? Maybe there are other ways of doing it. But the point again is that there is a room for data, analytics, AI, predictive, workload management, and being able to provide better customer service. I can give you 100 more examples, but all you have to do is listen to the customer. Customer is saying very smart technology solutions, but make them more intelligent.
Yeah, and we're looking
forward to
Thank you
again, Tamanna. Thank you. You've been very kind.
Thank you so much for taking out the time. I know it's been a busy afternoon and great to speak with both Mr. Gurnani and Rahul Bhatia. We're looking forward to seeing some of these innovations roll out in real life. So that was the top team speaking on the launch of Ionos.
Hello and welcome to NDTV Profit. Joining us today is Mr. Raghu Panikar of Kane Semicon and Bhanupriya Krishna of Perceptives Solutions. Welcome to NDTV Profit.
Thank you.
So, first of all, just wanted to know what is the update on the OSAT project that you're planning in India, sir?
So, at this point in time, we are almost in the last stages of getting this approved with the government. Mm-hmm. It should be a couple of weeks away, where we should get the approval. Okay. So that's the stage it is in now.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What are the plans for this facility in terms of production capacity, number of assembly lines? If you can give us some details about this.
Yeah. So, we intend to get into an OSAT because we are primarily a EMS company, Electronic Manufacturing Services. With the investment that has come in through an IPO fundraising year and a half back, we decided either to do more of EMS, which is one option. Second is to vertically integrate ourselves and get into closer to electronics. That is semiconductor, which is to do manufacturing in semiconductor, hence OSAT. it augurs well with the services setup that we are doing, electronic manufacturing services, hence outsource semiconductor assembly and test. Another area that we are going into is bare board PCB, because these are the two components which are imported items, and these are the two components that get into EMS. Hence, we are getting into semiconductor manufacturing. So the semiconductor manufacturing that we intend to put is almost on a 50-acre land. That necessarily means that we have huge capacity to build. There will be approximately around 13 to 14 manufacturing lines. Case in point is another important aspect of engineering, which is the ATE part of it, which nobody else is thinking in India. And that's where we're going to make a difference. The full capacity of this plant, which will come on a 50-acre line, which is 13 to 14, will churn out 1 billion devices, a full capacity.
That's annual capacity?
Annual capacity of 1 billion devices.
All right. So what is the kind of investment that will go into producing this 1 billion chips on an annual basis?
Yeah. On a roughly basis, if I look at the first 5 years of investment, somewhere around 5,000 crores.
Okay.
But then, as you would know, a part is borne by the government, central government subsidy, part is borne by the state government subsidy, the remaining part we have raised money through QIP and the money is available. But that doesn't mean that after 5 years what happens, right? After 5 years or within 5 years, we have to be self-sufficient. We have to invest in newer technology. We have to invest in CapEx after the 5th year, which means there's a lot of investment that will happen. And the current financials that we worked out, it seems to us that we'll become positive in the 3rd or 3.5 years.
What do you want to achieve from this plant? So what is the revenue target from this plant, say from year 1 till year 5, and when you properly become after the first round of funding that goes on?
I'm almost on a silent period for the because Kaynes Semicon is the subsidiary of Kaynes Technology, and Kaynes Technologies just concluded a very, very good year of last year, so I'm not allowed to put in the numbers. But then if I may stick out and say my own vision for Kaynes Semiconductor is to make it $1 billion. I got to list this. That's a good question. Yeah. I got to list this into the stock market. So this is the two dream that I'm living. And then necessarily, like Bhanu mentioned, that what do we do for this, for the engineering community, for the students and stuff like that. We missed mechanical engineering. There's a lead frame design. Mechanical engineers will come in. Chemical engineers come in because a lot of gas is being used. So I'm sure we're going to net create a positive effect. What happened, like Bhanu mentioned, 30 years before in design, we're going to replicate that or do it a little bit more faster in the semiconductor manufacturing. So, make it $1 billion, list it, and make sure that, we have abundance of talent in India. We rather use the talent and also export it to those countries which are aging a lot and there are not much engineering community there and stuff like that. So that's what I would tell.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Panikkar. Thank you, Bhanupriya, for the lovely chat. All the best. Thank you. Hello and welcome to NDTV Profit. Joining us today is Mr. Vivek Raghuraman. He's the co-founder of Mixtech, a US-based startup involved in the AI and HPC sectors. He's in India at the DAM Capital Investor Summit, Investor Meet, with a new AI chip, so to speak. Mr. Raghuraman, welcome to NDTV Profit.
Thank you.
So, first of all, we went to your website to check what you do. So, your website says siliconization in progress.
Right.
So, let's just start the conversation there.
Sure. So, what we as a company are focused on is improving the interconnects between the server chips, the high-performance computing chips, and the new GPUs or the AI accelerator chips that are being designed. So today, as you are all aware, most of the development or the largest GPUs that are being made are by companies like NVIDIA. And then eventually these are need to be scaled to big size data centers. Right now they are very small clusters. But then as you start scaling them, you run into significant power issues in terms of the network power consumption. So we are trying to address that space by using a technology called silicon photonics. Now this technology optic fibers have always existed in data centers, but the density requirements of these GPUs to communicate with each other, the latency requirements are all driving for a paradigm shift in terms of implementing these new silicon photonics based chips that can be integrated with the GPUs. So the newness in this is basically today's GPUs are interconnected to each other predominantly using electrical links. These are high-speed electrical links where the data goes between the GPUs or GPU to memory, and the communication happens for whatever the large language models or the generative AIs are being developed.
You have something on the table that in front of us. There's actually a chip that you have brought us. Just talk to us about this particular chip.
So yes, so you talked about siliconization, about what we are going to be doing. So this is a prototype of the siliconization that we are looking at, wherein what you see is a very large body GPU ASIC that is constructed using the most advanced packaging technologies, 2.5D, 3D integration packaging technologies, and the silicon photonics integrated with that packaging. And this is going to be sort of the future of how the GPUs are going to be designed and how the GPUs are going to communicate with each other.
So this is a photon-based transmission rather than electron-based?
That's correct. That's correct.
Okay.
So this uses photons, which are directly converted at the package and then transmitted out.
Okay. In that sense, of course, they're going to consume less power because that's the biggest concern about AI chips, AI supercomputers, their power consumption. So how much does this particular chip reduce or address that concern?
So the major power that is consumed in the AI chip is actually the core silicon. But the other aspects of it, this is basically the networking, the memory, these are other aspects that consume power. And then there is an aspect of density. So with this solution, it provides two benefits. One is the density and the other is the reach. And combined, it saves about 30% of the power coming out of a GPU ASIC compared to the technologies that are available today.
All right. Thank you so much, Vivek, for speaking with us. Thank you, viewers, for tuning in. This is Tushar for NDTV Profit.